welcome back to the Survivor Girl podcast. Happy Survivor Girl Sunday, everybody. Thank you for joining in, tuning in, hanging out with me. Hopefully, like we always do, I get into the disclaimer a little bit, let you guys know that I am not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not able to treat or prescribe, do any of that kind of thing. That is what the paid professionals are for. I'm just here to share my experience, have guests on that share their experience, so that we're able to hopefully uplift and inspire those of you that are tuning in and listening as well. Am I off? All right, so studio stuff, things happen. They try to talk to me in the studio, switch things, change things around, and it totally distracts me. But that's okay. That's what we do. That's why I am who I am, and I let you guys see, like, really the real. So I'm thankful to be here again. Glad that you, like I said, glad you guys are joining in. Last week's show, actually, I had a guest. Bobby joined me, talked about her journey through thriving and surviving, and that was an incredible show. So if you guys get a chance to go back and listen to her story, I know that it has inspired me. It's inspired several others. So thank you guys for sharing and getting into the old archives of the old shows. We're at number 73 today. So I have no idea how we got here, but we continue to keep on moving forward. So the next show that I will have is not until October. I get next Sunday off to kind of just relax and get ready for the next month. And I'm super excited about that. I love fall. I hope you guys, feel the same. I love summer too. I hate winter. I'm not a winter person. I'm just not a winter person. But I talked about that on the prior show too, with seasonal depression and different stuff like that as well. So please go back, check those out. Also, I'm re-aired on solidstateradio.net, part of the Strange Friends Media group as well. Now doing several different shows, helping out with other people's shows. I hope you guys tune in and listen to the Crystal LaFay podcast. Don't Make This Weird, Chill Stream Saturdays, Guitar Fridays. There's this is my brain podcast, and also now I'm part of Initiative Impossible, which is fun. It's a fun podcast, and I love that because it really doesn't feel like work. Actually, none of them really feel like work. I just get to be here and get to talk with all you guys, so that's a lot of fun. But I do have a really awesome guest with me today. Katie is actually joining me, and I didn't pull her arm or anything to try to make her be here. But I was also like, what if you're stopping by, if you want to jump on and come hang out with me for the hour or however long you got? I appreciate you jumping in. I've had Katie on the show before. She has run a really cool page throughout everything that we've gone through in the past year, a little bit over a year now. Spirit Virus 2020.
Virus Spirit 2020.
I always get it backwards. She is been running that page and helping to boost everybody up with that. But during that, you've also gone through some stuff as well. And last time we talked, you were kind of feeling not so good, but you weren't told what was going on yet. So, and I don't know how far you want to get into the story, but, I did have her on before. It was awesome to have you on. I've been rooting you on from the sidelines. Yes. There is a group called Katie's Calvary that has just been putting it forward as much as possible and trying to help you get through this last bit of your journey that you've had, and hopefully the last part of it for what's been going on.
I hope so.
I do too. I really do too, because when you went live about what was going on, it hit me in the guts, because we just became friends, and I was like, no.
You're my Easter bunny, man.
I was your Easter, that was fun. That was the first time we got to meet. We went out and drove around, and you cut out Easter eggs for the truck and decorations, had the radio going, and we went around as trying to give cheer to the kids on Easter, around Easter time, and it was awesome. You pulled it together quickly. We both did. We both worked, but you really pushed the thing and got it going. Everybody on that page was like, what if we did this? Why isn't this happening in our community? And it was like, all right. You were like, I'll do it. I'm like, I'll be your bunny. I don't care. Let's go. So that was fun.
It was fun.
It was a lot of fun. We did miss it this year, but more things were opened up, and they were able to, I think, go and see the bunny. I'm not sure, but there was a lot of other stuff going on as well. So I guess we can kind of get into that, a little bit more of your story, if you want to share.
Just got done fighting cancer for the second time in 4.5 years. Last time I was on, I wasn't sure really what was going on. Lucky me, did 33 rounds of chemo and 45 rounds of radiation. About a month and a half ago, I just had what we hope was the last of it removed surgically. Can't get tested, so kind of in limbo like I was before.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really hard. And even hearing those words, like that was one thing, not that we were trying to like trauma bond over anything because that is a legit thing, but being a survivor myself, obviously completely different cancer than, what you've gone through. But we were able to actually talk about that and go, man, that's nothing that you never want to hear that. Once you hear that one time, you never want to hear it again. And I was kind of talking with you while I was going through my adrenal gland thing, had to go in and do the testing on that to make sure that it wasn't cancerous. And thankfully that wasn't. But then not too soon after that, you found out that you were going through it again. And it hit me. I did. I'll be honest with you. I did cry about it because I was like, you never want to hear that. You don't want to hear it personally, but you never want to hear it from somebody else that you're like, we're survivors. We've made it through this part, and then that happens. But I felt that like I know you're feisty. Everybody else who knows you knows you're feisty. That's a good word to say, right?
Yeah, that's a good word to call
a good
it. I'm a little bit of an
description.
asshole. That would be me.
But I feel like in some sense you either have to have a one-track mind, or you have to be feisty, or you have to be an asshole, like you so politely put it. Or, you have to have that kind of drive to be like, yeah, I don't accept this. I don't accept it. And there's some people that just, there is no fight left.
Both times I went in with the mentality of, well, I mean, it is what it is. Face the music and tell me what I got to do, and let's get her done because I ain't got time for this.
Yep.
You're interfering. I got stuff to do.
That's exactly like.
I mean, I got way more important things to do than sit at a doctor's office.
Yep.
And I go to the doctor probably at least 2 to 3 times a month, all the way to Flint. 15 minutes, well worth the drive.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, and that's the thing too. When I found out, my doctor had called me, and obviously everybody's story is different. I was already just facing it with my mom. I was just getting the call. I went in after we'd found out. She found out, I think it was the 4th of July around that time. And then I found out after I had to go in on my birthday. So it would have been a little bit after that. But anyway, I found out like a week later that I had it. And it was like, oh, shit.
The sad part of it was,
now what?
It was my routine PET scan.
Oh, okay. So you do have to go in and
get
one
every 6 months.
Yeah.
Since the first time I caught cancer, it was my routine PET scan, and yep, I'm like, let's pray for the Amish light show.
Mm-hmm.
And the hospital never called me. They still haven't called me. My surgeon caught it because he shared their scans. So.
Oh my gosh.
And of course, during COVID and all that,
Mm-hmm.
he knew that I wasn't going to no hospital for nothing. He did a biopsy right in his doctor's office with a local, took out like a half-size golf ball lymph node.
Wow.
He put my port in his office with a local. Yeah. I was like, dude, I'm awake. That hurts.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Local ain't cutting it. You gotta give me something.
Yeah, right.
What else you got?
Yeah. Wow. So you were just going in for your regular your PET scan, and
Yep.
just like, okay, well, this is just routine for me. This is how my life is. This is what I have to do. How long were they saying that you had to continue to do that for at that point?
They weren't.
They didn't say. You just had to do it.
I just had to do it.
So I guess that them keeping up on it and having you continually keep on going in to get it done every 6 months, really, they help to find it.
Right, but
quicker.
I mean, wouldn't it be nice if, the hospital would actually want the scan, said, hey, we need to talk to you.
Yeah, that would have been. That floors me that they didn't continue to keep in touch with you. Do you have I know there's a thing where you can look at your patient records and things too.
Do all that.
You don't do that. See, I didn't either.
I'm like,
and then I noticed it. I noticed my stuff on mine, and I was like,
I'm
whoa. What's going on?
Not
here?
really computer savvy, and
Yeah.
doctor words I don't understand anyhow because
That's
the
a good
first
point.
time I got cancer, I got it in my D word.
Yeah.
I still don't know what it is. It's the D word.
Yeah.
Down by your small intestine.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, that word.
Just no idea.
No, and I write on all my paperwork and everything when I go in the hospital. They're like, "Have you had cancer?" Yeah, my D word.
Is that where? That's where it's at. Yeah. That's just, it
I mean,
floors
because
me.
I'm the only one my age and my size that I know of with a gastric bypass. I
Yeah.
seriously have a gastric bypass.
Wow.
And it's not to make me lose weight.
Right. So we've had
mean-
the same surgery, but mine was to help me to lose, and you had cancer.
Well, what happened was chemo ate like 1.5 feet of my small
Oh, my God.
intestine. And because of my size, they couldn't remove it because most people, they just cut it out and reattach it.
Oh, wow.
But I was too little and they didn't think I'd make the recovery. So they like clamped it off and made me a permanent bypass.
Wow.
I think I'm like my doctor's, little experiment.
Yeah.
Call me Stitch.
But it, but you're still here.
I am.
You're still feisty. You're not
Yeah.
giving up. You're not.
I'm right around 100 pounds first time in
Oh,
a long
yeah.
time.
Heck yeah. See, and that's the thing. Like, a lot of people don't realize that. I always am fighting the fight. All right, I can sniff a cupcake and gain 10 pounds, but even with surgery, it's like, okay, like honeymoon, whatever. But to be on the different spectrum of it, to not
I've
be
been
able
down
to
to
gain
78 pounds twice. I've
Wow.
been threatened with a feeding tube. I can't even count how many times. Because
Wow.
I'd just be like, oh, well, if I stay right around this way, you won't have to. You won't have to. And it's a fight. It really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, see, I've
I've
never
asked,
experienced that.
the doctor, since I'm his guinea pig, could we do like liposuction and suck it out of one person
Oh, I'd
and
be
run it
I'd be
through-
on it.
and run it through a dialysis machine to clean it, and then you could pump it into me.
See, like, I'd be about it.
And he's
I
like,
would be
no,
with you.
I don't think you can do that. And I'm like, but if you can take ass fat out of somebody's butt
Right.
and put it in their lips,
Right.
why could you not?
Right. I mean, really, come on, guys,
Yeah.
get on this.
He likes me. He
Yeah.
likes it. I have all kinds of great suggestions.
I would, if he ever goes for it and they would do it,
I
take
told him
me,
I'd be
I'd be
his
like-
first guinea pig. I mean,
I'm tribute. I will help you out there.
he's a scientist and everything. When
Yeah.
you look him up online,
Oh,
I
wow.
mean, it says he's a surgical scientist. I mean, so why not?
Yeah. I mean, come
I
on,
also,
guy.
tell him that I have this belief that COVID is allergic to chemo. Because,
Oh.
like mosquitoes, they don't bite me. They haven't bitten me in like 4 years. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like they sniff me and they go away.
Yeah. I mean,
And
you
I
never
think-
know.
And he told me there wasn't enough research, and I told him he should research it some more because
Yeah. Wow.
I really think that
Well, and I'm sure going through everything that you've gone through, it was scary to
It
go
was.
to the
I
hospital,
mean, for the
go
first
to the doctor, go
right.
to all
I
that.
wouldn't go to the hospital. I mean, especially his hospital. That's like Flint. I'm good.
Yeah. Right.
And the receptionist knew that too. She's like, I know if I call you and tell you got to go into the hospital to have this done, you're just gonna tell me pretty much get back. And I'm like, yeah, pretty much. Glad you know my thought process.
So now that you're at where you're at, how are things going for you? How have you been feeling?
I'm getting my energy back. I'm starting to obviously work
Yeah.
out of home, but
Right.
it's not like working, but it keeps my mind active. It keeps me creative, gives me something to do. Abides my time,
Yeah.
because that ship may have sailed. I have my days, but I'm healing. I take a lot of pain medicine.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah. Is that hard to navigate through with that as well, or
Yeah, I mean, for a while, I mean, I went to the doctor probably 2-3 weeks ago. I mean, just in tears. I'm like, dude, you said this was gonna hurt, but I can't do this.
Oh man.
This just ain't right. I can't live this way.
Right.
And then, you got to go through where they have to, especially with my size, try and kind of regulate it, because you give me a little bit too much and I'm like,
Right. You
drooling
have
all
no
over
energy.
myself. And
No,
I'm like,
no.
dude, I can't be drooling all over myself all day. I just can't.
I didn't make it through
I have
this.
to be an adult,
yeah.
a functioning adult. I have a child still at home.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's incredible. She's incredible. I haven't had a chance to really get to know her that much, but I've kind of through a little bit through you, and
Yeah.
she was with us when we did the Easter Bunny thing and the roundabout thing. And she seems like she's got a good head on her shoulder for
She
her
does.
age.
She
you
does.
know.
And I mean, she's only 12. She's watched me battle cancer twice, and she's been 8.
Wow.
I mean, she's been my nurse lots of days. She's seen a lot.
Yeah.
I have never hid it from her. I've never hid any of my procedures from her. I've always been upfront and open. I mean, if she asks me a question that I don't know the answer to, I'm like, well, I'll ask the doctor. We'll find out.
Yeah. And I think that's important too. I
It
mean,
is.
it
It
is
is.
a
Because why
scary.
hide it? It's scary, but I
Yeah,
mean,
but they
I
need
think
to
it would be
know.
scarier for. I mean, she has times where, yeah, she's really a mama's girl, and she has times where she's woke up in the morning and said, "Mama, I had a bad dream," and I'm like, "Well, what'd you dream about?" And she's like, "I dreamed that you died," and I'm like, "Hello, do you see me?
I'm still here. We're
We're
good. Yeah.
talking."
Yeah. Yeah. But it's a scary, it's a
Right.
scary thing, and I can't begin to
And
imagine
I think
being
that's
12
well,
and
right, but
seeing all this
she's
stuff.
been a lot of my push. She's
Yeah.
been a lot of my why.
Yeah. To keep going and
Yeah, because her daddy can't raise her.
right.
I know that. She's a little girl.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna happen.
So so that was part of your drive to make
Oh
sure
yeah,
that
for
you
sure.
were getting through
For
this.
sure.
Was there any like specific diet stuff that you had to do throughout this to help or anything
Oh,
else?
I was on the insured diet.
Oh.
That's wonderful. You can add a lot of stuff, and it takes a lot of stuff to ruin the taste of them. But
yeah.
I mean, being on an unlimited calorie diet, you can
Mhm.
pretty much add all kinds of stuff like chocolate syrup. And,
Pretty much anything.
right. They kind of frowned on my drumstick ice cream cones, but they didn't really think that was a good healthy choice. But I mean, I was bouncing off the walls. I was good.
Yeah, they were like, but this has helped me have my energy. So,
Right.
I can imagine. Like, I just wondered if there was anything in particular that they
Oh,
were
peanut butter
trying
on
to push.
everything, butter on everything, anything to add a calorie.
Ah,
Absolutely anything to add a calorie.
Wow.
And it's like,
I'm
you
trying.
know, right. And it's like, you can only drink so much of that and eat so much. And especially when your stomach's all shrunk because you're just all messed up anyhow. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'll be on stomach pills for the rest of my life for my first cancer.
Wow. Wow.
And I get like kinks
In your stomach.
in my bypass.
Yeah.
Where I have to, like, when I'm eating, like, stand up and stretch out because food will just stop.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And I do this
I
little
felt that.
dance and
Yep.
oh, there you go.
Yeah. It's weird or it's interesting, when you go through these different things and to continue and find your footing again after getting knocked down. Like,
Right.
And it's
I
a
mean,
different
I'd
journey.
love to go back to work. I would really love to go back to work. I miss my people. I miss working, but that shit may have sailed.
Yeah, they are still like kind of evaluating whether or not that you're able to or
I know I don't have it in me to work 60 hours a week right now.
Yeah.
There ain't no way.
yeah. Well, I can understand that completely. Just a little bit that I'd gone through, it knocked a lot out of me as well too and
I mean, I tire out easy.
you had to go through way more than what I did. I was, I say lucky because I didn't have to go through the chemo and stuff. They were able to do stuff with the surgery. So, but I do really feel,
Right, but
having
I mean,
to
that
go.
stuff doesn't leave your body. It like poisons you.
Yeah, even going through and having the test, the PET scan, and all that stuff too. It's
The
so
anxiety
weird.
from it.
Yeah, waiting to
Yeah.
find out where you're at, waiting to
Yeah.
know, is
First,
it?
you got to wait to be tested. Then you got to wait to find out what happened at the test.
And then you have to wait to make sure that if you don't pop the right way, that you're glowing
Right.
in the dark.
Right,
You know,
right.
It's horrible. It's a crazy experience. It's a lot of anxiety. There's survivor's guilt. There's survivor anxiety. There's PTSD from it. There's a lot of different things that you experience, even if you do become a survivor. Going in and getting the checkups, going in and doing all that stuff, it still is scary. Like, I get weird when I have to go in, and I'm going to be 7 years out from this. But still, I still get nervous every time I have to go in and, find out what's going on. It's scary.
Right.
So I can't even begin to imagine, where you're at with everything.
Well, like
and
right now, I mean, I'm just like, is it gone? Is it not gone? What is it? Please tell me it's gone because I can't do another surgery and I really don't want to do no more chemo.
I don't blame you.
Or radiation.
You've been extremely
that stuff all
strong.
hurts. I mean,
Can you, because I never had gone through it, can you explain a little bit about that process with it? Like
What,
the chemo and the...
chemo, the first time I had cancer, I had, they call it the red dog, the red devil is what they call it. And it was like the harshest of the chemos that you can ever take. It was 6 hours. Wow. Every 3 weeks, 21 days.
Wow.
And you sit there for 6 hours and you have IVs pumped into you the whole 6 hours.
Wow.
One of the bags they pump into you is red. And they do not always tell you ahead of time. If you go to the bathroom, you will pee red.
Oh, wow.
So,
That's
like, you know,
scary.
I'm in the chemo chair and I get up to go to the bathroom because they're pumping,
Yeah.
like, all this fluid into me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I come out and I'm like, there's something wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You think that'd be like the opener that they'd say that, you know?
And they don't do IVs. I mean, I have a port.
Yeah. Yep.
And when I got my first port taken out, the doctor argued with me because after 2 years, I was like, well, can't we just take it out? What do I need it for? I don't use it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, what if you need it again? And I'm like, well, I'll just cross that bridge when I get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 years later, I got another port. They couldn't put it in on the same side because there was too much scar tissue.
Wow.
This last time I did chemo wasn't as bad. It was about an hour, hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
But then I did radiation too.
Right. No,
And I'd leave the chemo chair and I'd go downstairs and they put you in like this tunnel thing and this thing goes around you and burns the hell out of your skin and your skin falls off. It's nasty.
See, I had no idea
and-
about that.
Yeah.
I know I've heard about like the casting that they do for over your face.
Yep. They build
heard
you
of
like a
that.
cast
Mm-hmm.
to hold you still so that they can radiate certain points and then like every third time they move it so that it radiates a different point.
Wow. Wow. That is I didn't
With
know
chemos, both times, I started losing my hair right around 14 days. Usually after the first 2 handfuls, I just shave myself out because I can't deal with it.
that. Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole nother psychological.
Nope. I mean, I'd rather be bald like Tony.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rather than deal with it. I mean, because watching it fall out, even though I'm not a girly girl, I don't do my hair, I don't do my makeup, but
Right.
that's just
It's a big
it's a big thing.
It's terrifying.
It
It's
is.
terrifying. You know, I had some of it, not as bad as that because like I said, I didn't go through the chemo and stuff, but it still did affect me. And the stress and things started, and then a whole bunch of number of things. So it wasn't like that.
No, because one thing
But
adds to another.
it
I mean,
does.
I still don't have a
It
family
does.
doctor because, like, they're like, who's your family doctor? And I'm like, I don't have one because I see enough of you other idiots that if something's wrong with me, you're going to catch it. So
Right.
I'm good.
Yeah. So I mean, after that, how many doctors do you see? for
Right
everything
now, I
going on?
have a chemo doctor, a radiation doctor, a surgeon, a heart specialist, a breathing doctor. And this is all from
Just-
cancer and
yeah.
chemo. And I never, the last time I went to the doctor before I got cancer,
Yeah.
I had my kid.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
I'm not that doctor girl. I
Yeah,
don't like
okay.
doctors.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't really care for them as much either, but
Yeah.
you know, wow. Okay, so you have yourself a team,
Yep.
We have a
yep,
team.
Yep.
and you have Katie's Cavalry.
Yes.
And they've
yes,
reached
yes.
out and they've helped. through
Chemo's
it.
weakened my lungs. It's weakened my heart.
Yeah.
Messed
And this
up
is
my
the stuff that
guts.
people don't really talk about when they go,
No.
go through it. So I
No,
appreciate
you puke a lot. You spend a lot of time praying
telling.
to the porcelain god.
Yeah.
I mean, there was days where I couldn't even get off the couch.
Wow.
But-
And they're expecting through this time for you to gain the weight too. And
Right.
This is all you feel.
Right, and you're just
You don't feel
drained.
like eating. You don't feel like going through all that stuff
No.
and doing all that. So, wow. I can't even.
I mean, you eat like a lot of rice and noodles and stuff that's bland because, like you said, I mean, I take Zolfran like there's no other.
yeah. And your stomach's constantly irritated.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
raw.
We used to laugh for the longest time. We used to laugh because before they just got me on a new pill
Mhm.
that I have to take every time I eat, so I absorb my food, so I can gain weight.
Wow.
And this new pill, I went to the pharmacy. They were giving me samples, and I went to the pharmacy because the doctor's like, "Hey, you should get this prescription filled, and they're going to give you free vitamins." And I'm like, "All right." I go down there. I give them my insurance. They tell me, they're like, you have to have a pre-authorization, and once you get it, your copay is going to be $630. And I'm like, are you
Oh.
serious that I have to take this every time I eat?
Jeez, oh Pete.
Uh-huh.
That's crazy. Like it.
Because if I
Blows
don't
my
take
mind.
it to absorb my food,
Yeah. You're
then-
not getting all
right.
of it that you need out of everything.
right, right. But I used to have like a cat and dog. My daughter had them named for some time.
Yeah.
That would fight in my stomach. I mean, it was you could
You could hear
go-
that going off.
yeah, like
Yep.
Tony sitting across the room, you could hear my guts.
Yeah. Yep.
Who's
Yeah.
gonna win?
I had that going on last podcast actually because I was drinking coffee and I was like, oh, it sounds like a frog in me. And so I get like I understand that part of it. That's crazy. It blows my mind that it costs that much for something that is needed. know.
Around a chemo bill, my insurance is $10,000. Round of radiation is $9,000. Even with having 2 insurances, I'll never see my way out of medical debt.
Wow.
My daughter laughs at me because they call up and I'll look at the number and I'll be like,
Right.
decline. She's like, it's not their turn. And I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I pay you $20, I pay you $20, I pay you $20. I'm on disability now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm $20 out.
Yeah, really. Wow. Is there anything, any financial or anything?
I've gotten financial assistance from like the hospitals for my
Okay.
surgeries because I've had surgery like every year for the past 5 years.
Wow.
Usually for my birthday. That's my birthday gift from my surgeon.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, we schedule a date in the OR.
Wow.
At least he takes me to like the good hospital, the
Yeah.
fancy one.
The fancy one. You have the
They
nice
have
bed.
They have the
nice gowns.
jeweler and they
Yeah.
have a bank and a
Right.
hairdresser and a little flea market going on.
Wow. So you do get the fancy treat. See,
I
this is
do,
one
I
thing
do.
too, Katie.
I
I have
mean,
to
like-
say. I have to say. You do have a really good sense of humor and you have kept it.
You have to have like a dark sense
It
of
is.
humor.
We talked
It is.
about this.
It's a dark sense of humor because I mean things that I find funny,
Mhm.
other people probably might not find funny.
But it helps you to continue.
Like-
It's- yeah.
Ta-da.
Right?
Right. Yeah, I have a lot of dark humor about things.
I mean, that's the thing.
I go in.
You have to.
I still smoke cigarettes. I go in and ask for a carton of cancer, and when people look at me funny, and I'm like, "What? It's not lung cancer. Hello."
Right? I mean, you've again the dark. having the
Right.
dark
Other
humor.
people don't find it funny, but
We
it
were
gets
talking.
you through.
We were talking back and forth, and we had that kind of going back and forth. But I'd watch that too, though, because you would post something on your Facebook, and it'd be like the darker one. I'd be like, "Oh, that's funny," and somebody else would be like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you just put that," or
I know, and it's like
and it's like you have to do that to be able to make it.
right.
But if you've never gone through it, or you've never been a caretaker, and you've not seen this,
Right.
you've not watched.
I mean, I tell
your
my
superhero go
I
from.
flat out the
down.
month before my birthday, I see my surgeon and I'm like, dude, I don't want no birthday presents from you this year. You can just stay away from me. Okay.
I don't blame you.
Good.
I would be saying that as well. Mm-mm.
But I get to go to like his own little. He has a VIP waiting room with like the leather chase loungers and the big TV, and
Yeah.
and then he has like a regular little waiting room for like people that are just having surgery, And
Yeah, right.
then I just walk in and like I own the place, and I'm like, go in my little room. I'm like, hey, what's up? You got any snacks?
What you got in there?
What you got to eat?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. We're gonna celebrate afterward, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, and it was interesting though to watch. You did some videos, you posted some different updates, different things. Notice, with everything that you were going through, obviously the page kind of slowed down a little bit because it had to. You needed
It
to
did.
take care of yourself, and everybody understood that. And I liked seeing everybody just kind of be, hey, you got this, you can do this, and it was a lot of positivity,
Oh yeah.
a lot to help keep you going.
Well,
and
I've lived in Carroll all my life too. I
Yeah.
mean, like my daughter says, Mom, do you have to know everybody?
kind of, yeah, that's a privilege, right?
I mean, right. When you grow up in this town, and you live the streets of Carroll.
yep.
I mean, I might have traveled off for a couple years or two, but I mean, pretty much I live within a mile from where I've grown up.
That's funny that you say that about knowing everybody because Adam said checking in, sounding great. Nice seeing you at Walmart a few weeks ago.
See?
Katie. And Kenna says hi. She's joining in too. So,
I mean, and like, I worked in garages around here for 10, 15 years. So,
Yeah.
I mean, And I get that a lot still. You're the muffler man, girl. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's me.
So you've always been that woman that gets in there and does jobs that maybe most of us women wouldn't do.
Yeah, you
and,
have to have a special kind of personality.
Right. Right. So you've always been that way.
To be
though.
the only female in a garage, you
This
have
is
to
true.
have just.
I can imagine. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
That's great.
Me and my alter ego. I had an alter ego. We named her Vicky. She's real
fantastic. Well, I'm glad to see.
I tell everybody, you need to find your inner Vicky.
Get doing it. Do it. Well, it's good to see that you're here. I'm thankful that you're here. I really am, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart because when I seen that you
and I'm really thankful that I don't have to look at that blank sheet.
There you go. Yeah, we don't have a camera on that one though, but Katie did bring us some nice things that she has made. She has her.
It's just stuff.
But we appreciate that very much.
I know,
So,
but that's your design.
This is from my design, but you made it sparkly, and I love that. You guys can see that. So this might be something that we have available as orders through Katie.
Sure.
I do have them online, but I am going through a drop shipping company that does like a one-off, whatever. And I'd rather work local. We talk about that often about bringing it local, keeping it local, doing that. Support local. And not that we want to deplete your energy or do any of that stuff, but I would love to continue to work with you.
I love the spark of creativity. You let me, one-off it and
see
what I can come up with.
So we could do like, if somebody wanted to order that, we could always put it up on Survivor Girl so that we could have them send to you and pick out what color shirt or we can always do that.
Non-sparkly, because
plain.
I mean, Tony might not like to wear sparkles.
Yeah, he should though. He should. But speaking of supporting local, I do have the list of different shout outs that we're going to do here really quick. Joining me at the farmers market this past weekend, Buns and Roses Holistics. We really do like them a lot. We're thankful. We got some of that beard oil for Adam there. He's loving that. They also offer tea, tarot, candles, yoga, Reiki, healing, which is amazing. They are on Instagram, and you can also find them on Facebook under Buns and Roses Holistic. And I think it's cute. It's a husband and wife that work together, and they make these things. She also has new candles out that are the wood wick, and they try to do zero waste as much as they possibly can, which I really think is awesome. The tea is cool, too. Tony's had that. I don't know what kind he's got, but I got the new apple, I think, caramel. Black Dragon. All right. So if you guys get a chance, if you're local, you can check them out at the farmers market. I think they're going to continue to be up there, or just get in touch with them on Facebook and see what they have available. Support. And also, speaking of that, Stone Cottage Farm of Mayville, they have the goat milk soap. We love that. We're thankful to be able to help out when we can. I still got quite a bit of it at home. I love all the different scents they have, and I used it today, actually. So check them out. They have an Etsy store, and they are at the farmers markets as well. I think they're going to Flint Farmers Market. So you can go to the Facebook page, follow them there. There's links for their Etsy store, but also they have etsy.com/shop/Stone Cottage Farm Soap. And a couple more. Tony and I went on a holistic doctor journey recently. Well, not recently. It's about a year now. Thank you. It's about over a year for him, a little bit less than me. And we see Dr. Katie Gremmel at Shelson's Natural Health. And we really like her a lot. She is, it must be a Katie
do that,
thing.
like,
it must be
foot detox thing?
Not yet.
Oh, because I wanted to see what that does. Anybody do it?
Oh, he's got one. I've got one too.
Does it work?
It does work. Oh. They do have that available there too. But there you go. The foot detox. Yeah, they do have that as a thing there as well. I think Crystal had posted it on her
I
page.
thought I seen her do that, and I was like,
so
wow,
that's something.
I never seen nothing like that. So.
Yeah, they have that available.
I just hate to see it. It would probably be like really black with all my toxins.
It does go through it. Like it really does. The first time I had mine done, I was like, I don't like this. Like,
that's
why?
Gross.
Why is it like? But it was actually I felt really good after it. I also had the raindrop massage done too, and I smelled like a pizza, but I was so relaxed and chilled because they use oregano and one of the oils and stuff. but it was very relaxing.
Interesting.
Definitely check that out. I don't know if they have that one available there, but I will post something on Survivor Girl of some people that I know that do the raindrop for sure, or I'll check in and see if they have it at Shelson's. But also, I mean, it wouldn't be Shelson's Natural Health without Dr. Matthew Shelson. So check him out there as well. You can go to either one. The ladies at the desk are amazing. They do work with you if you do need to do payments, because this does not, unfortunately, is not covered under our medical insurance and whatnot currently. I don't know if that's going to change, but you can get a hold of them at 1-855-672-2600, or follow them on Facebook. You can go check them out there. Just give the ladies at the office a ring and see if you can get in to see one of the doctors there. We do really like Katie, but I've heard great stuff about Matthew as well. So check out Dr. Shelson and Dr. Grummel. And also, I got Katie's card, which I love. So Katie, that is joining me today, she has Creative Crafts by Kate. And you can go on, you have a Facebook? Yeah, like us on Facebook, so you can go check it out. It is under It's Just a Thing, Cancer Sucks, which I agree. Cancer does suck. We all do unanimously here. Go check her out on Facebook or get in touch with her. Do you prefer text or call?
Whatever.
I always say text because if
Text
I'm at work.
is probably easier. Yeah.
So you can get a hold of her for custom creations at 989-553-5338. Custom sewing and machine embroidery, custom vinyl work as well. Love it. That's where the shirt came from. We also have a sticker. I'll post a picture of this too. She made us a nice, amazing, actually, vinyl sticker for Strange Friends Media, and we have it on the wall here. Well, I guess it's on the curtain, but it still looks very cool. Very cool.
It just looks better than
it does. It was so plain back there.
It did. It was just like, boom, here I am.
So Katie brought that in. That was the original reason why you stopped over here. But I was like, hey, you want to come hang out with me? So I'm thankful that you did join me in the studio. But continuing on with all that and like moving forward from here, that's part of what keeps you going is your business and getting orders and doing things and keeping creative.
Keeps my mind sharp.
Yeah, for sure. What is one of the favorite things that you like to actually, one of your favorites to make?
I'd have to say t-shirts.
The t-shirts, yeah. So do you do the vinyl work with it?
Yep.
So you have the press to do the?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a learning curve too.
Oh, you don't even want to know. Like my craft area was supposed to be like this little like 4x10 area.
I know that feeling.
I have a 3-bedroom ranch house, and I'm proud to say 3/4 of my basement is my craft area.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a heat press. I have 4 sewing machines. I have a tumbler turner. I have a 6-foot by 8-foot cutting table. I have a sublimation printer I'm just getting into. I'm just learning that.
What is that?
That's where you can like it almost looks like a screen print.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it's like infused right into the shirt.
Oh, that's awesome. You put it on. So you're learning that one.
Yeah, so you can get a lot more detailed with things.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's
starting
cool.
to learn that.
That's
and I had to
cool.
go buy a convection oven because I want to learn how to do the sublimation tumblers because I think them are pretty cool.
Those are cool. I got to see some of the work, and we shared with Tony. Tony's looked on your page as well, and everybody else that we've been mentioning it to.
And pretty much, I'm not judgmental. I don't care what you want to put on your shirt. If you want to put it on your shirt, I don't care. I'll take your money all the same.
You'll make it happen, right?
I'll make it happen. And, I put my own little twist on it a lot of times. Because I get a lot of people send me things that they see on Facebook. Oh, can you make this? Oh, can you make this?
Mm-hmm.
And sure, I can make it, but mine's just going to be a little bit different because of copyrights and stuff like that. I don't need to get in trouble. And plus, that makes me think a little bit more to try and
piece it together and make it happen.
Together, yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Gives it your own individuality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I love the sparkle on the shirt. That turned out really cool. You had asked about that, and I was like, let's try sparkly. I really dig that. And you also did a sticker of just the infinity with the feathers and stuff.
Right.
Really
and
cool
you sent me that design, and I couldn't quite do the design, but I pieced it together and I made something work, and it looks really close.
I love it. And the same thing, with the Strange Friends Media thing, the vinyl. That's
Facebook
cool.
Stalker.
Hey, that's all right. We do enjoy that. We do. Yeah,
Right,
really, you
right,
can. I
right,
mean,
right.
we're on everything now, so with Strange Friends
Well, I
Media
mean, and it's
pumping.
close to what you had. It's just a little bit
I
different.
dig it. It looks really good. Yeah, it looks really good. So we do appreciate that. I mean, it's interesting because we do get to meet so many different people that have this creativeness and everything going on. So to see all the different stuff that you've come up with, and you know, like you said, people do get a hold of you and want something made. But at this
And
time
people,
too,
I think some of my friends, they're like, haha, she can't do this. So, hey, can you do this? And I'm like, maybe.
right?
I mean, because I've made like tumblers with sawdust in them, where you
Yeah,
actually use like
yeah.
the sawdust from the wood and epoxied it all in there with Mod Podge and all that. Yeah, I've done some really weird stuff, but
Yeah, but it's cool to learn
it
how to
is.
do it,
It is.
to make it. I know
And a
there's
lot of
growing
it's
pains.
trial and error.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's growing pains with it. You do learn as you go.
I got a lot of stuff that's all wadded up or thrown away. Or
That's another thing too. We didn't just bond over, being survivors and going through that stuff. We did bond over this as well. It's fun to be able to touch base with other crafters, other people that think outside the box and make these things differently, and to be able to share that too.
right.
Like being able to go up and do the farmers market has been cool because there was a lady, I don't know exactly where she was from, but her accent was like, I was thinking like Ireland or Scotland, and she had come up and she had mentioned, looking at the different pieces, and well, I recycle stuff. So I turn it into jewelry, and she's like, that is clever. You have made me excited to stop
Oh, I'm a
here.
recycler too.
I love that. Like, it's cool.
Larson Salvage. You haven't
Very,
been
I have not. Let's
there?
go.
You have to.
Let's go. Let's
You
go
have
together.
to. I just went my first trip this weekend. You have to. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
you hear that, Adam? We're gonna have more stuff around the house after I
It's
just
a
was
crafter's
complaining.
nightmare.
Oh gosh, we'll have to go check that out.
It's like one
But
of
it's
them
been fun.
old like hardware stores, where it was just random things, like the old Gambles used to be.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I mean, no rhyme or reason what everything was on the shelf. You could put this next to that, and it made no sense. But he knew where exactly everything was,
Mhm.
and I mean, you could buy. I spent $70.
Yeah, you can find all kinds of stuff.
Well, yeah, because I was like, ooh, I could do this. Ooh.
Yeah, and that is like the worst thing to say is I can make that. I can do this. For our spouses to be
It
like,
is. It is.
I know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
You know, I've
they're
been
rolling
thinking.
their eyes and they're like,
Yeah.
damn it.
I know I've been thinking. Even when I say that with my friends, they're just like, oh no, what's gonna
I bring
happen
home
now?
this old garage. I went to a garage sale a couple weeks ago, and I bring home this old trunk.
Yeah.
And I bought it just for the story, because this little old guy. It said on there it was over 70 years old.
Wow.
And this little old guy is telling me this story about it was in his family most of his life, and this and that and the other, and he hated to see it go, and it needed a little work, and he had $20 on it.
Yeah.
And he carried on for about 15 minutes, and he's like, you can have it for 15. And I'm like, for 15, you know what? I'm going to take it. And I take it home. And my husband's like, what are you going to do with that? I'm like, I don't know. I thought maybe I'd strip it. He's like, yeah, okay. And it's got like lead-based paint on it.
Oh
And,
no.
the paint that don't come off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Devin, and my daughter's making fun of me. I'm like, you don't know, that's going to be your first coffee table, because I had milk crates. You're one up. That's real wood.
Right. Yeah. Wow. That's awesome.
But yeah,
But thinking outside the
just
box.
right, just random stuff,
That helps.
I still
that
don't know what
helps.
I'm going to use it for, but
It might be her first coffee table.
it might.
Have you seen the actual? They make the old style suitcases into dog beds too.
Oh yes, I have.
That's just there's so many things that people come up with now. So when people tell me that I'm unique and I do these things, I'm just like, thank you. Like I get really shy about it.
Right,
I try
right.
not to, but in the same sense, it's like, oh, I never thought of it that way. They're like, you're an artist. I'm like, oh, but you don't think of that stuff when
You
you're
don't,
creating. I'm
you
just
know.
happy to do it, and I know
Right.
that you are as well.
Right.
So
I know a
being
lot
able
of
to
times,
have that.
like once I figure out a T-shirt, like I just did a whole bunch of. I wear red for my hero, and I used clip art and cut and paste and welded and all this stuff, and I pressed the first one, and I was like, wow, that's pretty neat. Like I had to pat myself on the back, like good job, because nobody was there to show. So I was like, yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool. So what are the next things for the page that you're running? Is it still up and going? Is there
Oh,
still
it
stuff
is.
going on?
I put inspirational things on it now. Just something to make you kind of think maybe a little bit outside the box or change your way of thinking about something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because kids are all back in school. Everything's returning to normal, hopefully to stay that way.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, and I hate to close it down because I still get a lot of responses out of it.
Well, it was neat because it wasn't just about the virus. It was about, you had people on there that read stories,
I
that
had
sang, that did
right. I
puppetry.
had cops
Yeah.
on there reading. I had teachers on there reading.
It was a huge community thing.
I had a friend that would dress up as a clown and read.
Right. It was a good thing.
It was,
you
you
know,
and it was stuff, you know, to try and keep the kids entertained. And I mean, because it all started out. What started it was one of the local cops thought that me and my daughter were doing like a spirit week thing because we were wearing mismatched socks.
Oh.
It was Rock Your Socks for Lucas, a group that I'm a part of.
Yeah, yeah.
And they all wear mismatched socks on Down Syndrome Day.
Okay. Yeah.
And we had taken a picture of it, you know, and posted it on Facebook. And he thought we were doing like Spirit Week. So then we were like, oh, well, seeing school closed down now, we'll do Spirit Week. So then I let her
pick out.
She did a lot of it in the beginning where she would pick out what days they'd have. And they colored pictures and sent them to the prisons. And
yeah, there was so much stuff that
we actually had like, I still have it. It's a card that one of the prisons down by Detroit sent us. Wow. That was signed by all their corrections officers and everything because we like made a special tribute to them that day or whatever.
That was cool. That's cool. And so it's been a really good, positive thing, and it still is. It's still going. And I've seen the positive posts and all the different things, and it was fun to be able to get on there and read and do different stuff and hang out with you on there.
And anybody's more than welcome to still do that at the yacht. You know, I'm always good for bedtime story.
Right. Absolutely. I thought that was a really cool thing.
I never outgrew that.
Yeah. Me too. I listen to audiobooks all day and I keep on crossing my fingers. Please don't fall asleep while you're listening to this. Just, you're at work right now. That would be awkward.
Right.
So, is there anything going forward any kind of message that you'd like to give to anybody that has followed you through this journey or that might be going through something similar?
Really, you gotta put me on
I'm sorry. Yeah, I do. I'm like that. You know.
I guess my best advice would be keep pushing on.
Yeah. I think that's the only thing
pushing
you got.
on.
Yep.
I mean, that's all you can do. Take it day by day, and it is what it is. Yeah. That's the mentality I have. It is what it is.
Right.
Roll with the punches and see when it's done.
Yep. And that's the thing. I mean, that, no one ever wants to hear those words. Nobody ever wants to go through that. And there is, the Relay for Life coming up. You had mentioned that before you had gotten on and joined me. That's coming up this weekend here locally. But there are still several of them going on all over the place. And they do the Survivor's Walk. And there's different
I'm hoping that we're going to do it together.
I hope so, too. Yeah. I'll go with you.
We'll do the Survivor's Walk.
I want a picture of us going around and doing that. So.
All right.
It's just
because it's really going to be a push for me to do the whole lap. So.
Well, I will help you through it. It's
like you might have to carry me halfway.
What day is it? What day is it? It's coming up this weekend.
I think it's like 25th.
25th. Okay, we'll have to check into it and definitely we'll walk it together. We'll help each other get through it because obviously, we had started talking and we found out that we were both had gone through that and we've just been on this crazy fun journey, and she knows that if she messages me and says, "Hey, girl, I need you for something," I'm like, "All right, what are we doing?
Right?
What kind of thing are we doing?" But we're filling up our buckets, aren't we? We're filling up our buckets, and that was one of the big things, that has brought us together. And I'm so thankful that you are sitting here next to me.
And cottontail gets old after 4 hours, but I mean,
it does. And doing this little dance throughout the whole thing,
but Heather is an amazing singer. She sings Amazing Grace very well.
Oh, thank you. I did a recording because I couldn't do it through the bunny mask, so yeah. So we stopped and we paid tribute and
we threw together a bunny costume in like less than 24 hours.
I'll have you know.
We threw the whole thing together in less than 24 hours. I mean,
I had pins, a bunch of pins. I had a blanket actually that looked like fur and gloves but they couldn't see. They couldn't see the rest of me, so it worked out. It worked out. It was fun. It was a lot of fun, and I'm thankful that I was able to do that journey with you. I look forward to doing several different things coming forward to keep on filling our buckets, but also making sure that we're not exhausting ourselves either
right
on the way. So I think it's been a a really awesome journey, and I'm thankful to see, where you continue to keep on going. You are an inspiration.
I might
You
go
might not
that
think
far,
so,
but
but I
I
I
mean,
definitely feel that way, and everybody who has followed you through your journey, they're they're awesome. The ones that kept on putting up prayers, and you just watch
right,
people
right.
check
But
in.
it's weird though because like after you've had cancer and like been like out of commission and not out in the public eye, it's like people look at you like you've been underneath a rock,
Mhm.
and it's like, oh, it's good to see you out, and it's like, oh, where did I go?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's weird. That is a weird thing too.
it is weird.
It
And
is.
like
You
I
don't
did,
want people to feel sorry. You
no,
never
and
want anybody to feel
I
sorry
went
for
to the
you.
dentist, and and it happens too because people don't think before they speak.
Mhm.
Took my kid to the dentist, and the hygienist says, "Oh, I loved your hair. I love how you cut it short."
Mm.
And I just looked at her, and I shook my head no, and she's like,
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. But and at that time though, you're just like,
"Yeah, I
you
mean,
know, it's a weird thing because they
it
feel
is
awkward, and then you're just like, oh man, now what do I say? What do I do? Do I just let
right,
it slide? Do
right,
I just,
right.
Yeah, it is a weird thing after that. And unless you've gone through it, you don't know.
You
Don't
don't know,
know. You don't know until
so
you've
don't
faced
judge. I
it.
mean,
Yeah,
that's a big thing. Don't judge."
that is a good thing to put out there, is to remember to not judge, to to be a little bit not so hard on yourself too if something like that happens and you're just like, gosh, I just put my foot in my mouth, but continue
Right,
to roll. No matter what, if you run into somebody who's gone through some sickness or whatnot, do the best that you can to try to treat them
humanely.
yes. Yeah.
I mean, for lack of
Yeah.
better words, humanely, because I mean, I know I've walked around looking pretty unhealthy at times, and I've had some people make some comments behind my back and
Mhm.
about me being a druggie or whatever, because I'm all bruised up from IBs and I'm all scrawny and lost my hair and everything. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry if my cancer offends you. I'm not much of a fan either. I mean,
Right.
and that just usually they're just like,
They don't know what to say.
no, they walk away. I
Yeah.
mean, what else do you say?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's hard sometimes to
But
have
if you're
conversations and what
being rude to
if
somebody,
you're being rude, then no, they need to
yeah,
hear
I
it.
mean,
They definitely need to
that's
hear
exactly
that.
it. You
There's
you need to
no
keep it in check.
there is no excuse for that. There is no
No,
excuse to be rude to somebody or to be talking like that to somebody. And they did deserve to they did deserve to hear that you no, I'm sorry my cancer offends you, but that's what I'm going through.
right?
Did they need to know that? Not necessarily, but in the same sense, yeah, they did.
Yeah,
They
because
did.
I mean,
You know.
you're judging me without even knowing me.
Yeah. And that's but I hear so many great things though, Katie. Like so
Oh, I
many
know.
great things about you. You
Well,
are
I don't know about
definitely
hearing great things.
I do. I've heard a lot of great things. Yeah.
Who are you talking to? I mean,
Apparently all the right people.
obviously. Can you
But
tell? Can you take me to meet them?
I could. After the show we got a little bit of time, right?
All right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it is different, but for sure, if you don't know what someone's going through, that is a really good message to put across. It's easy to look at somebody and give a snap judgment, but until you know, like, keep it zipped. I think that's a good
Right.
thing to say. Like, be kind. I know it's not always easy to do, but in the same sense, cancer is already tough enough. You
Right.
already are just fighting to be here, and then to have somebody, say those kinds of things and be insensitive, it's a no. It's a no go for me. I
Right,
don't
right.
agree with that.
And some people just don't think about it. They don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Since I've had cancer, I look at things a little bit differently than what I used to look at before. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm more grateful for waking up in the morning and
Mm-hmm. Right down. I'm so right down to the thank you God for this person who's made my coffee, who brought this
Right.
in this package for me, who made this coffee pot.
right.
It is it is an eye opener. It is different. It seems like I hate the fact that that kind of a tragedy had to open up my eyes, and I always continue to say to people, don't let it get to that point before you're thankful for your life,
right.
before you're grateful for your journey that you're on. It's easy to run into things day after day and be angry and upset or woe is me stuff. But until you get to that point, I want people to see that before having to face something like that, and to truly love their life, or at least be grateful for half of it,
For sure.
somewhere in there. So going through that and putting that message out is another great thing to say, to remind people, find your pace, find your footing before you are falling.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, you just don't. It's the little things. It's like you said,
Yeah.
the person that made my coffee.
Yeah. And I find that too. Like even with going to places that are now open and serving and doing things, I try my very best to be kind and smile and try to, even if they're having a bad day, I go, okay, well, what are they like? What have they faced? Like, what are
Right.
they've gone through a lot too, through all this in the service industry, all that stuff. And, even a kind word or a smile, some people may think you're weird and awkward, but still, sometimes it
I
changes
packed
someone's
some
day.
elderly gentleman's groceries the other day at Walmart.
Yeah.
As 3 Walmart workers stood there and watched me and waited till I was done and said, "Oh, you didn't have to do that." But here
Wow.
he is, an amigo,
Yeah.
And then he's telling me about how he's buying these wine coolers because he's on pills and they make him really happy. But that was another story.
Right.
He had like 3 6-packs in his amigo. I mean,
Yeah, but when you see that, no matter what age you're
I
at,
mean,
no
he
matter
could barely
what,
even get out of the amigo,
Yeah.
and they, I just felt bad for him.
yeah, and that's sometimes that's
A little
just
bit
what
of
you need to
kindness
do.
goes a long way.
It absolutely does. It really, really does. No matter what it is, no matter what it is you're facing, it really does. I'm thankful for those kinds of things. I'm thankful to have this platform to be able to share that kind of stuff, to be able to put out. Yes, there's struggles in life. Yes, there's a lot of
there's also
different
good
things,
things.
but there's a lot of good things too. There was a question in one of I do these, like, I have a book that has questions each day, and one of them was, "Have you ever lost faith in humanity?" And I said, "Oh, I'm sure everybody has at one point, but I've also seen a lot of really good stuff in humanity that made me believe again."
Right?
So that just makes me think of that. Just pushing it forward, helping other people out, and continuing to try to keep moving forward, to not give up. You really pushed that this year. You're not giving up. You have, you've come back around, and I'm thankful that you're here. And I just continue.
I'm thankful to
I
be
put
here.
prayers up too. I put prayers up for you in my prayers, and I hope that it continues to keep moving forward, and that you get to continue to go do some crazy
Get up,
stuff
like,
together.
To 120 pounds
Hey,
or something.
you might.
You
I got a couple more things here before we close
Oh,
the show
my.
out. Am said more. Oh, mouse are off again, but by 4. Okay, more like 10. What a great show. Okay, so he's saying great show. We appreciate that. Thank you again, Katie, for joining me. Watch the Survivor Girl podcast page. We're going to go ahead and put the link up as long as I get the go ahead from Katie for you to be able to order those shirts from her.
Sure.
And again, we'll support local, try to put that forward, and yeah, keep you going, keep you staying positive. And we thank you guys again for tuning in. Go check out all the shout outs that we put. Keep following on Survivor Girl. Motivational Mondays. There we go. I'm getting there, guys. Motivational Monday tomorrow. I will be putting something out before I go to work, so it might be a little off in the morning, but we'll be pushing that out again. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you again, Katie, for being here. Absolutely love and appreciate you very much. So thanks for joining me, you guys. Go check her page. I'll put that back up and help support. So with that being said, you guys, remember, it is okay to continue to keep being positive, to help pay it forward, to stay in your lane. That's okay too. You can do that as well. Don't bully people. And also remember, though, life is best lived.